Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Bert embodied everything we believe coaching is about: selflessness, passion, a deep commitment to help young people grow. Even in her short time as a coach, she made an incredible impact on her athletes, her school, and everyone who had the privilege of knowing her.
She never saw it coming. Tonight marks 1 year since a high school coach was shot at a bar downtown. Her killer remains a mystery tonight.
Plus, a he said, she said situation creating a conflict of interest for the San Antonio Police Department. KSAT investigates, looks at the case and the resolution.
I don't want my taxes to go up. Also, I didn't want a flood to come down the river and kill 120 people.
The city of Kerrville questioning how it will offset the costs after those deadly hill country floods. Tonight, the city council approving the Kerr County tax assessor to calculate a higher property tax rate.
So to be clear, that does not mean that tax rates have gone up, but city leaders say that it gives them options for financial flexibility down the line. The Night Team's Avery Everett has been following this story, and she joins us now live tonight.
The city of Kerrville is now the second taxing body here in the Hill Country to ask for higher property tax rate limits to be calculated. Emphasis on the word calculated. The decision made here tonight does not mean that the findings will be approved. City Council here just saying it gives them an open conversation to options.
All in favor, so vote. It passes unanimously.
A unanimous vote.
Keep an eye on us.
And a promise for transparency. That's how the mayor closed the Kerrville City Council meeting on Tuesday night. Leaders here approved the Kerr County tax assessor to calculate a higher property tax rate limit in the aftermath of the deadly hill country floods.
We're not setting a tax rate tonight. We're talking about getting information from the tax assessor collector on possible scenarios.
This move from the city follows what Kerr County Commissioners Court voted on last week.
This doesn't mean we're raising taxes.
So what exactly does this mean? The details are complicated. Tax code and calculations can be confusing. But what we know right now is that the Kerrville City Council approved the Kerr County tax assessor to use a special method to calculate property tax rate limits. This method will use a higher percentage than typically allowed by state law. They're allowed to do this because of the disaster declaration, but they need approval by the city first. And that's what happened Tuesday night in Kerrville.
Never had a natural disaster of this magnitude to deal with.
About a dozen people sat in with concerns, but only 4 spoke up against. Nathaniel Hall was one of them.
And it's just really discouraging to young folk like us too.
Nathaniel and his wife, Sunny Hall, led a protest last week against the property tax discussion.
I think this is very inappropriate, once again, to be discussing this now.
They left tonight disappointed, but determined to stay connected.
We'll definitely be following every step of the way.
As the county starts to crunch numbers, Kerrville City Council is waiting to see what comes next.
We will be transparent and discuss every step of the way.
There's been a lot of confusion in this community over this conversation. So that's why I want to be clear tonight in saying there was no new tax rate set tonight or even a new increased tax rate proposed tonight. The decision made tonight just sets the groundwork if they want to make that decision down the line. We could expect that in the early fall, late summer, when the budget cycle really is completed here. The next budget conversation is happening next week, and we're planning to be there. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Avery, thank you for that. And staying on the subject of recovery up in the Hill Country, rebuilding is a big part of that. Tonight, flood survivors gathered to learn more about how to move forward.
Yeah, let's go to Ingram now. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas tells us what happened at a Kerr County informational meeting there.
Tonight's meeting at Tom Moore High School discussed a wide variety of topics for those trying to take the necessary next steps nearly 3 weeks after those deadly Hill Country floods. This is what some of those people in attendance had to say about the importance of being here.
This is my community, and I love Kerr County. One day it'll be back. I mean, the beauty and everything like that will be there, but it's just going to take us a while.
Our riverbank basically got just wiped out, and we got the debris from the 2 RV parks that were just upriver from us, all on our bank.
During the meeting, Kerr County officials discussed issues such as debris removal and when burns would be allowed again. They say that debris is being removed from the sides of some roads currently, that they hope more debris removal will start by the end of this week in major corridors. Adding burns will likely not be allowed until major corridors are cleared. As for the exact timelines, that wasn't clear and they did not take any questions. They did say that contractors would be coming to assist with removals, and that includes from private property. However, a form will need to be filled out for that to happen. And again, it wasn't clear when those forms would be available. They also mentioned if private owners remove the debris and dispose of it on their own, that person would then be on the hook to pay for that cost. Other key topics were rebuilding, and if rebuilding where you once were is still a possibility. The Texas Water Development Board broke down how that might change and vary depending on your situation and how that might impact your flood insurance. If you weren't able to make it to this meeting, we do have a link to the entire meeting on our website, KSAT.com. In Ingram, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
So, we all have another chance to help the Hill Country recover. Have you heard from the Together for Texas donation drive? We've been talking about it because KSAT, our sister station in Houston, KPRC, Graham Media, and Gray Media have set this up to help the people affected by the floods. So far, you've donated more than $1 million. Thank you for that. If you haven't donated and you want to, you still have a chance to do that. All of the money goes directly to on-the-ground efforts in flood-affected areas through the Salvation Army, which is doing incredible work up there.
All right, let's talk about rain in triple digits. Adam Caskey.
Yeah, the thunderstorms earlier this evening were just in Mexico. Now we had new ones develop in Maverick County and now moving into Kinney County, parts of Uvalde County, and stretching up into parts of the western Hill Country. Now this is likely, very likely to all stay west of Kerrville. And really we just have a few more hours of this activity up through about 2-3 a.m. But it's coming down pretty hard and it's a light show. Could have some wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Eagle Pass, it's all done. Quemado, it's coming to an end. Brackettville, you have it just moving in right now. Quick 1 to 3 inches, not out of the question within these downpours, but most of it's west of Uvalde, west of Concan, and just outside of Lakey. Now notice they are showing signs of dissipating as they get into the Hill Country, but either way, a few more hours of this activity. It's isolated in nature, considering the entire KSAT 12 viewing area in San Antonio. We're going to stay dry for now. We have triple digits to talk about and our next chance of rain with a system coming from the Caribbean in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. 1 year ago today, Jasper High School coach, 28-year-old Aiden Burt, in town for a coaching convention. She was killed in a random act of violence. She and several coaches who were in town went to the Smoked Sky Bar downtown. That's when SAPD believes a bullet came from I-37, hitting Burt, who was seated on the upper level of that bar in the back, killing her. This year during the Texas High School Coaching Association convention, they wanted to make it a point to honor this life cut short, announcing the donation of a new weight room to the Jasper ISD where she worked.
She absolutely loved kids, loved coaching kids, loved lifting weights, loved the weight room, was a big-time power lifter, was a head powerlifting coach. And for her family's name, her grandfather retired from Jasper ISD, her father retired from Jasper ISD, and for her family's name is going to be on there. It's going to be huge for our community.
As for the case and the investigation, that's still ongoing. San Antonio police have not been able to make an arrest yet. This picture of the blurry car, the only lead at this time. Crime Stoppers offering up to a $5,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest.
Now, San Antonio police are looking for the person who shot and killed a man at a home on South Zarzamora. Now, investigators say that this happened at around 3 o'clock this morning. A witness told us that the victim lived in the home and was playing a game of dice with some visitors. And that person says that one of those people suddenly pulled out a gun and shot the victim. The witness says that after the man shot the victim, he then got into a car and drove away.
Heavy metal legend Ozzy Osbourne has died at the age of 76 after dealing with an illness. He was, of course, a reality TV show star. He was a successful solo artist after founding the band Black Sabbath.
Many San Antonians are, of course, familiar with Ozzy for a different reason. We know that back in the 80s, police arrested him for public intoxication and urinating on the Alamo.
Today, officials with the Alamo acknowledged that, but also posted a heartfelt goodbye to the rock and roll singer on its Instagram account, saying in part, quote, "At the Alamo, we honor history in all its complexities. Today, we acknowledge Ozzy Osbourne's journey from regret to reconciliation at the historic site. We extend our condolences to his family, friends, and fans around the world. May he rest in peace," end quote. The Prince of Darkness later apologized for his actions at the Alamo, returned several times to learn more about the site's history. That's some of the video you're seeing. He even filmed a show there.
Like that story, yeah. So now let's talk about you. KSAT wants to hear from you. That's exactly why we're hosting a town hall tomorrow at Santikos Casablanca. We're going to be discussing how to receive all of our KSAT content since there's so much of it. We're also going to be discussing signal issues, and also we'll be taking questions from the community. So here's what you do. Scan the QR code on your screen to sign up for a seat. This is a free event. It's happening from 7 to 8 p.m. You can also find more information on our website, ksat.com.
Was he spying on her from the sky? Still ahead, the former girlfriend of a San Antonio police officer breaking her silence for the first time. The officer responding to those allegations. The San Antonio Police Department declining to discipline one of its officers after he was accused of placing a tracking device in his ex-girlfriend's vehicle.
So now we've also learned that he took photos of that vehicle and of a home connected to the woman while he flew in a police helicopter.
The ex-girlfriend breaking her silence tonight, telling KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier she felt violated by the officer's actions and then violated again when he avoided punishment.
It started last summer with this iPhone notification in the middle of the night.
My son woke me up one night at 2 o'clock in the morning to tell me he got an alert on his cell phone that we were being tracked with a tracking device.
This woman asked that we call her Marie and not show her face. As an Android user, she says she had no idea how long she had been driving around with an Apple AirTag in the back pocket of her front passenger seat. The late-night discovery caused enough concern for her to contact San Antonio police.
How violated did you feel in that moment?
Very violated. I don't know how long I was being tracked. I don't know when he put it in there.
He is veteran San Antonio police officer Asensio Mata, Marie's former boyfriend, and a pilot for the department's Eagle helicopter unit. Her son was able to pull up the registration information for the device, which listed Mata's phone number under owner.
What followed was a he-said-she-said clash between Mata and Marie, with internal affairs investigators caught in the middle.
His side of the story was that I agreed for the device to be in my car.
Had you had any conversations with him prior to that night about allowing him to track you or that he was going to track you?
Absolutely not.
In late April, after the case had gone before a review board, Marie learned that no disciplinary action would be taken against Mata. Sources say investigators were unaware of these photos captured from the Eagle helicopter. Marie says Mata snapped images of her Jeep in a parking lot and of her parents' home and sent them to her while they were dating.
He would fly over and make sure I was where I said I was. Just really mixed emotions in that somebody could track me like that so easily, find me and track me wherever I'm at and send me pictures.
Reached for comment, Mata said the photos were not taken in a threatening manner, telling KSAT, quote, "She wants to get me in trouble because I chose not to continue the relationship." Mata later said he'd been told by superiors he could not speak with KSAT and referred our additional questions to the Public Information Office, which wrote it cannot comment on internal investigations that did not result in discipline. For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
So here's something else. Marie worked as a contract employee for the city, handling senior services, and she says that she was let go during the investigation into Mata.
That decision being made after someone contacted her employer and said she was sending personal emails during work hours. Neither Marie nor KSAT is aware of exactly who reached out to her employer.
Now we're going to take a minute and take you outside. 86 degrees out there right now. All right, Adam, you've been talking about triple digits and possibly rain.
Yeah, we have a little bit of rain off to the west right now, some actually heavy downpours off to the west, and then a few showers possible by Friday into Saturday for the rest of our area. So let's get right to it with Authority Radar. And I turned off the lightning just so you can see the actual heavy rain a little bit better. San Antonio, far right-hand side of your screen. Mostly confined to Kinney County and parts of western Uvalde County. Northward into the hill country, it really starts to fall apart. That's the trend we've been seeing. Notice over the past hour, the downpours working their way in to the hill country and starting to fizzle out, though I do think that this batch near Brackettville will last longer than previous showers as it moves towards Rock Springs. Rock Springs, not too far away from you, to be honest with you. Let's see, let's put a time on it. For Rock Springs, you could expect some of the heavy downpours by 11:26 p.m. Basically within the next hour, Rock Springs can anticipate that batch of heavy rain moving in 1 to 3 inches within some of those heavier downpours that we have there. And here's the futurecast showing similar trend going forward, staying west of Kerrville, west of Hondo, and generally west of Uvalde, but going to be pretty close to Uvalde. And this is over the next couple of hours, several hours technically, up through about 2-3 a.m., and then it's over with. And we'll just deal with some leftover clouds tomorrow morning. And then a lot of sunshine by the afternoon with temperatures back near triple digits. Our next chance of rain doesn't come until Friday, and that's later Friday and even on into Saturday at about 20 to 30%. So limited coverage, and I think fairly limited accumulations. Of course, a bit can change between now and then, so check back in for updates. Here's what we're watching. Notice that upper level swirl that's over the Bahamas, already causing some shower activity in parts of Florida and over the islands out there. That's going to track westward. It can't make it yet because the upper level high, the blocking dry high, is keeping it away. But the high moves northward, opening the door for that upper disturbance that's going to slide across the Gulf over the next couple of days and make it here by late Friday and then even on into Saturday, just giving us a little bit of rain-making energy and some deeper moisture along with it. But it doesn't look like this is the kind of system that's really well organized to really kickstart a whole lot of widespread rain. Now you look at the drought monitor, and we still need it around San Antonio and especially Medina County and all the way out into West Texas, Big Bend area, Big Bend National Park. That's where we have the exceptional and extreme drought area. The only part of the state right now in drought, from El Paso to Fort Stockton, down to San Antonio and southward to Laredo. So 98, our high temperature today. That's 2 degrees above average. But notice the potential, the record, 104, set back in 2023, just a few years ago. Tomorrow, 77 at 7 a.m. We'll have the low clouds early, but they should turn into a lot of sunshine by 10 a.m. and then sunny into the afternoon. That'll help boost us to 99 for the high temperature. Wouldn't shock me if we hit 100 technically in San Antonio, and likely to hit triple digits farther south in the typically warmer spots. But Kerrville 94 tomorrow, New Braunfels 98, Del Rio about 99. I anticipate hitting 100 on Thursday. That would be the 4th 100-degree day so far this year. And then with that upper disturbance moving in, temperatures scaling back just a little bit. We're talking mid-90s with a little extra cloud cover Friday, Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, first official day for Cowboys camp in Oxnard, and it was eventful.
It was. A lot of people had a lot to say. You know, a lot of people, a lot of sound bites, a lot of fun, and a lot of people wanted to chat with our Larry Ramirez, of course, who has a one-on-one interview with one of the players that you don't want to miss. Plus, we found out what Chris Paul is going to be doing next season. We're going to explain in just a little bit.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
Well, let's get on the field and play some ball. Today's Dallas Cowboys training camp saw the first practices of the season for the boys. Dak Prescott looking healthy. Micah Parsons was out there too. Limited activity as he awaits a contract extension. Now, the return of familiar faces is something welcomed by Cowboys fans, and all Texas Longhorns fans will be pleased to see that our Larry Ramirez got a one-on-one interview with Jaden Blue. Take a listen.
Joining us now, Dallas Cowboys rookie running back Jaden Blue, a 5th-round draft pick from the University of Texas. Jaden, thank you very much, sir, for joining us today. Hey, so you went through your first practice at training camp today. What was that like for you?
It was really fun, you know, just getting a chance to be back out here with the guys and finish off where we left off in the spring. So, you know, the pace is a lot different in college, but, you know, I'm getting the hang of it, man. I'm loving it.
You got to run with the 2s today, and I got to see some of your runs. You broke off some nifty plays out there. Tell me about that.
Yeah, man, just like I said, man, just trying to finish off where I left from at Texas.
Okay.
You know, one of my biggest things is being explosive. So, you know, any chance I get, I try to, you know, make the big play and get his team a chance to put the ball in the end zone.
What is that like? Because you are known for your explosive speed. What's that like? Can you explain it?
Yeah. Man, it's actually crazy because, you know, I ran track and, you know, I was always fast. So, you know, once I get a little bit of daylight, then, you know, I could take it the distance. So, Yeah, man, it's really fun, you know, being the guy that, you know, can take a 5-yard gain to a 50-yarder.
When you hit a home run and you know you're just outpacing the defenders, how does that feel? What's that like when you know that they're not going to catch you?
It's actually, it's fun and it's, you know, refreshing.
Okay.
Because when I, you know, hit an edge and I know that, you know, the guy behind me or on side of me, you know, isn't going to catch me, it's really cool to see because, like I said, man, I take a lot of pride in you know, making people miss, outrunning people and things like that.
So your fellow rookie, Phil Maffa, more of a power guy. So can you two be like the next Thunder and Lightning?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the good thing with that is we're two different backs. So I think that's why we're gelled so well together. Like, it was you know, same thing at Texas and even in high school. You know, I always had a power back next to me. So, you know, it helps me out in a lot of ways.
From rookie minicamp to this day, what's this process been like for you?
Man, just grinding, just making sure I stay in the playbook, you know, leaning on my coach, you know, to make sure that, you know, I'm staying, you know, making sure I'm know the things that I need to know and things like that.
All right, I'm going to end this Q&A with, tell me about your shoes, please. I think those are cool.
Yeah, so these are kind of the shoes that, you know, everybody has, you know, been wearing since they coming out. You know, it's, you know, Kobe had these shoes as basketball shoes, but they had made them into cleats. So, you know, I just think it's pretty cool to wear shoes like this because, you know, Kobe was, you know, such a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, he was, you know, great on the basketball court, you know, great off the court, and, you know, he's a great role model for a lot of people.
Jaden, I appreciate your time. Best of luck your rookie season.
Sir, thank you.
All right, and let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Larry. While the Cowboys hit the field this afternoon, the Texans players will get their first practice tomorrow morning over in H-Town. The Texans rookies and veterans all showed up today, along with the 25 other teams across the league. Here's a look at what the Texans will be doing at the Houston Methodist Training Center. Now, tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., General Manager Nick Casario's press conference. 9 a.m. it's going to be practice. 10:45, coaches and players interviews Thursday through Saturday. And then 9 a.m. practice on Saturday. That's the only day in which the fans can watch practice, but they need to make sure they get tickets to attend. And then Sunday, the players have the day off. Well, when we come back, we're going to be talking Chris Paul and the San Antonio Spurs. So stay with us.